Retro Music Review UK, my name's Roger Swift, back here with another video where I take a song from the past, off a CD single, play it here on my CD player, talk all over it and tell you what I think about it. And today I'm going to do one of my absolute personal favourites. In fact, this is my favourite obscurity of the 90s. I use the word obscurity because it's one of them cult songs that certain people remember fondly. It was a bigger hit in the USA, as I understand it, than it was in the UK. In the UK, this was a sleeper hit in that it was hanging around the lower end of the top 40 for about 5, 6, 7 weeks. It sort of hung around a little bit. It never got particularly high. I think it got to 29. I know it got to number 29, was the highest peak it hit, and then sort of hung around the lower end. But it was well remembered by certain people, but it's still considered, well, it's obscure to the majority of people, and I want to talk about it, and I finally got to it on my shelf, and I thought, yeah, I'm going to do this one. We're going to do In the Meantime by Spacehog. It's just a very unique, it's a rock song. It's just from a band, this very band. They're trying to be a bit different and unique, and he's got a very weird way of singing on this song. And some people were like, oh yeah, I remember this. Well, I remember them doing it on TFI Friday, and the singer did this thing where he's like, they had this like weird look about them. They had like these glasses and these odd look, and they had this trick where he starts swallowing, like eating the mic, like doing something with the microphone, like as if he's swallowing it. That was on TFI Friday. I knew this song from listening to the top 40 week after week after week, and it's hanging around the lower end. I also remember it being in the rock chart on the chart show, and I also remember the TFI Friday performance of it, so that's how I came to know this song. I did have this back in the day. I actually went out and bought it at the time because I thought it was great. I've since lost that CD single, and I've obviously reacquired it again in recent years. So let's talk about the artwork here. Now, what's unique about this artwork is this is obviously New York, where this picture is taken, and this is the band sat on a sofa outside what looks like an apartment block with graffiti on it, with a New York parking bit. So this is obviously New York, but I like this fact this woman's walking by, and it looks like she's as if that there to me looks like there was supposed to be a dog on a lead or leash, as they'd say in America, and somehow she's lost it, or they photoshopped it out. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just that there. Can you see that there? Is the light shining on it? That just looks weird to me. That's why I always thought it's like. That's just always what my teenage head thought whenever I saw this, and kind of still does. So let's have a look inside there. Of course, there's the sofa inside where they all sat on, a nice little touch. CD singles like that, where it's sort of like a story. There's a continuity between the front and the back and the inlay. I like CD singles that do things like that. There's the actual CD single itself. They have this little mascot again, a 90s thing. I mentioned this in a previous video. Bands of the 90s would do this thing where they have their own little drawn mascots or own little band logo. This little Spacehog, which is, I think this is the Spacehog, was theirs. They brought an album out called Resident Alien. I've got that as well, because it says on the back here, in the meantime, open brackets, edit, when there's about 10 seconds cut out of it. So the album version has, and it's sad, but I know that now because I've listened to both. So I'm going to play off the CD singles here. It's on the Shire label, which is part of the, I think that's part of Warner Music, says on the back here. 1995, 1996 copyright, Shire Records, WEA International for the United States. So it says made in Germany so this was made in Germany, this CD single. I'm going to pop it on the CD player and have a listen. So Spacehogs, in the meantime, here we go. Now, another thing before I start playing is, for years and years and years and years and years and years, I had no idea about this. It's only in recent times, in the last couple of years, thanks to the website whosampled.com. This channel is not monetized. I'm not sponsored by any of these things I link to. Whosampled.com, which is a website that if I went back in time and showed my 13, 14-year-old self whosampled.com, my head would have exploded at the idea of it. It's just that existing, and you can go there and find out what song samples what. And I only found out that this actually uses a loop sample from another song called Telephone and Rubber Band by the Penguin something Cafe. So this bit at the start, which is like a phone loop going, like a phone sound, like the sound of a phone off on the hook looping over and over, that's not a sound effect, that's actually directly sampled off another song as it starts. So here we go. There it is. That's someone like dialing a phone, and the backwards sounding, got quite a funky bass riff here. This is just a great song. I just really like this song a lot. I've never stopped listening to it. It's been on my playlist ever since, you know, for the whole time. It's never gone away. It's rock music, but it's a bit different. It's kind of like funky rock, you know. And now I love songs that do this. They have like this just this like, the intro is just like them saying, it's nothing, it's not an audible language, they're not actually saying anything, they're just making a noise. Like, ooh, I like that. This is not the only song I've got that does that, but I like that a lot. And now we cut into the first verse and his unique voice, here we go. Sort of a mixture between singing and talking. And that phone sample off the other record is still looping in the background. And the pre-chorus, and we're into the chorus. And I've got him constantly in my head, like doing this with his glasses on, like doing that, like singing into the mic, and like, and doing this like weird shit with the mic. It's very different. I mean, you're not going to get much. The bridge is good in this as well. The outro's interesting as well. When we get to the outro, and a very thick bass line underneath it all. If you hear that, a very funky, very thick sounding bass. The drums are quite light. It's not heavy pounding on the drums. It's quite a laid back. The emphasis is more on his voice in this. I can't think of any other band at the time who had a singer who sung like that. I'm sure others have copied it since. Someone in the comments or at some point in the future will point them out. And here comes the bridge. Shoe in time. What is shoe in time? My foot's bopping down here. I'm resisting playing air guitar. If I wasn't filming myself right now, I'd be air guitaring right now. But I'm resisting it. And this is the ready that cuts a bit here. In the album version, he does it again and does it a bit higher. We cut that. Holding on to notes. Nice little that riff is good. It's coming to an end now. It's building to a climax. I have to keep talking because if I don't keep talking, it avoids me getting copyright strikes. And now we're getting to the outro, and I love this bit. It's like building. That's a funky sort of sliding out riff, and it's building to the end. And it builds. Now the outro here is a bit interesting because we start getting this random piano riff, which now. Here it comes. It goes all piano-y. See, it turns into a piano riff at the end. Now I understand that why they did that, but when it used to play on the top 40, they cut this off. You never hear this bit. The DJ would have cut back in. Mark Goodyear, as it was at the time, would have cut back in, and you never heard this. I'm talking all over it now. Now on the album, it then goes into another track. That was Spacehogs. In the meantime, one of the absolute 90s. Gems. This is the ultimate obscure 90s gem. I've done it now. So please hit subscribe for more videos. I'm going to be doing way more frequently now.